Men should always pay on the first date, and this is why.
Girl, tell us why.
There's about to be $2,000 on my face.
$2,000? Girl, what the hell you putting on your goddamn face?
Starting with Dior Moisturizer, $135. Dior Capture View Serum, $125. Dior Primer, $50. Armani Primer, $46. Polish Filter, $49. Chanel Liquid Highlighting Drops, $57. Dior Foundation, $57. Dior Concealer, $40. Chanel Bronzer, $60. Chanel Multi-Use Stick, $50. Chanel Blush Stick, $54. YSL Highlighter, $27. Chanel Powder, $56. Dior Bronzer, $50. Dior Highlight, $50. Dior Backstage, $48. These Dior Blushes, $80 total. Dior Backstage, $52. Eyeshadow, $68. Dior Eyeliner, $35. $68. Bamboo Stone, $24. Eyeliner, $35. Eyelash Curler, $35. Dior Mascara, $33. YSL Mascara, $35. Royal Lip Liner, $24. Charlotte Tilbury Liner, $25. Chanel Lip Duo, $48. Chanel Lip Gloss, $40. Urban Decay Setting Spray, $36. Total cost is $1,745.
Well, goddamn, you gotta put all that on your face? You a whole little filter.
If you're a girl, make sure the man pays.
She can't be serious, right?
Don't waste $2,000 on nothing.
Oh, he needs to pay because you put $2,000 on your face. But who gonna pay the $800 car note and the $500 insurance on the car that he used to come get you? The $100 that he put in that gas tank to come get you. The outfit he bought to go on a date with you, that's probably like $200. The cologne that he sprayed on him, that's probably like $100 or more. The haircut he went and got, that's like $50. At this point, girl, you probably owe him.
So, have you ever wondered why dating has become so expensive? Have you ever wondered why you had to spend money on the first date just to get to know someone? When did it become normal to have to spend $100 on a date for a woman that may or may not be interested in you? This is what we call a foodie call. You thought you were going to get something out of it, but really, in reality, you were being used for your wallet and for free food. What is up, dudes? It's your boy Andy Matrix. I'm back with another video. I'm back on Angry Guy's YouTube channel. Guys, if you haven't heard of me, go ahead and check me out on Andy Matrix Gaming, where I talk about anime, gaming, Japanese culture. If you're into any of those things, make sure to follow me. The link is in the description. And guys, make sure to follow Angry Guy on Rumble, because he's got some exclusive content over there that he does not post on YouTube. So if you want some of that spicy stuff, make sure to click the link in the description and check him out on Rumble. And guys, hard times are coming. Hard times are coming. Jobs are disappearing. We are at about over 3 million layoffs. I say 4 million. I say 4 million layoffs, right? Jobs are disappearing fast, and if you lose yours today, you could be homeless in a few months or even weeks. Okay? And most people don't have savings in their bank accounts. But it doesn't have to be that way. So go ahead and check out the Content Creator Academy by Angry Guy. Okay, where you can learn how to build your own online business. Right, click the link in the description to check out Angry Guy's Content Creator Academy. Okay, and you could even get a free tutorial from Angry if you sign up today. So let's get on with the video. If you are a man watching this video, I'm sure that you have been used by a girl. Okay, you went on a date with her, or she made you think you were going on a date so that you would buy her food. It happens all the time, right? She keeps her money while you spend yours, right? This is one of the reasons why the pickup artist movement was created back in the 2000s. You guys remember guys like Mystery, right? You guys remember that channel on TV, VH1? There was a show by Mystery that was teaching like nerdy dudes how to pick up chicks, right? There's Neil Strauss who wrote the book The Game by Neil Strauss, right? David D'Angelo, who wrote Double Your Dating, right? Really popular book, Double Your Dating. It was a book that was like, it went viral in the 2000s, in the early days of the internet back then, right? And then one of the most popular groups out there was RSD, Real Social Dynamics, with RSD Tyler and RSD Julian, right? This was the artist movement, and it really became super popular in the late 2000s and early 2010s, right? There's like dating boot camps, all that stuff. I've gone to one myself, so that's how I know about these things, and I read a lot of books on dating. So, and of course, that movement has its own flaws. Okay, the pickup artist movement has its own flaws that, you know, it just, I'm not gonna go into it, but maybe I'll cover it in another video. But look, because here we're talking about foodie calls in this video, so pay attention. But what if it was a penalty for foodie calls, right? What if there was a penalty whenever you were used, you know, to go on a date just so that she can get free food and run away. Okay? What if some girls could get arrested for using a man for his money and get free food? Right? For being used, right? This is going to be something common in this economy as the economy collapses, especially here in America and in the UK and Canada too. As the economy collapses, this is going to become very common. Okay, and it's gonna happen more often. So a lot of you dudes out there, you gotta keep your heads, gotta keep your head up, be on the lookout. Then again, maybe we don't really have to worry because there's like what 80% of dudes especially in America, are really not dating. Okay, especially in this economy. Or too broke to date. So today we are going to take a look at this fantasy from the YouTube channel Manosphere Highlights. So here we go.
A woman sitting at the news desk laughing as she casually admits she used guys just for free dinners.
I mean, this sounds really horrible, but I remember in college, the girls who would be like, listen, I can't afford, dinner or whatever, so I'm just going to say yes to that guy that keeps asking me out because then he'll pay for my meals. But really, people are pulling back on that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you just love the honesty? She said, people are pulling back on that. Oh my God, how come nobody is giving out free meals anymore? If you want a free meal, go to a food pantry. Okay, go to a food pantry. There's churches that give free meals, free food. Okay, dating is supposed to be about getting to know somebody so that you can be a potential girlfriend or wife. Okay, but instead they're using dates as a way to get free food because they're broke. It's kind of funny because they always make fun of like men that are broke, but they themselves are broke. Anyways, let's get back.
Not from a TikTok influencer, not from a random girl on the street, from a professional news anchor. She said the quiet part out loud. Foodie calls, the act of dating just for free food, are real. And if you've ever been on the other end of one, you know it feels less like romance and more like fraud. So today, let's play a dangerous game of what if. What if foodie calls weren't just rude? What if foodie calls were a crime? Dinner theft, lobster larceny, felony filet mignon, the sirloin scam that finally lands someone in handcuffs. Sounds insane? Maybe.
Okay, I just wanted to put this out there. I don't want anybody to think that like a new law passed about foodie calls. No, please don't get the wrong idea. Don't get the wrong idea. This is just kind of like a male fantasy. It's like a dude fantasy, right? In a scenario, if this were to happen, this is just us kind of like making things up in our head. So anyways, let's go back to the action.
But hold on, because the moment you think about it, it actually makes perfect sense. Ain't that a man? The foodie call economy. Before we get to punishments and trials, let's zoom out. Foodie calls are not rare. They are systemic. Studies show that 33% of women admit to going on dates just for food. That's 1 in 3. And remember, that's only the ones who admit it. The real number? Way higher. Think about the ripple effect. Men burning through paychecks on dinners that mean nothing. Restaurants thriving on fake romance. Dating apps basically becoming DoorDash with small talk. We're not talking about the occasional misunderstanding. We're talking about a hidden economy that preys on men's wallets and men's time. If foodie calls became a crime, that entire shadow economy would collapse overnight. Men stop being prey. Women stop using dates as free buffets. The system rebalances.
Okay, I'm gonna go as far to say that the system would actually completely collapse because most of the men pay most of the taxes. Most of the high earning careers are done by men. Like petroleum, construction, electricians, carpenters, plumbers, all the dirty jobs that pay you like $80,000, $100,000 a year. Most of those are done by dudes, right? So most of the big salaries out there are men. Even in technology. Okay. Now, in the past few years, obviously, there's been a lot of females going into like these higher paying roles, but men usually pay more taxes, right? Men usually pay more taxes. Most of the businesses out there are owned by men. That's just how it is. So if men just pull back, there will be a collapse. Okay. I mean, imagine if guys just stop going to strip clubs. Imagine if guys just stop, watching pornography. Pornhub will run out of business tomorrow. If like at least 80-90% of the population of men stop watching corn, the hub, the website, the hub, you know what website I'm talking about, it will collapse. It will go bankrupt. So we could literally collapse strip clubs, nightclubs. Nightclubs are already going out of business. Adult video websites, right? Adult video websites, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Restaurants, right? If dudes really, really, really wanted to, if everybody just kind of like, as a collective, just decided to pull out, we could collapse the system much faster than it's collapsing now. Speaking of a collapse, okay, we're losing so many jobs. There has been about 3 million layoffs. I think by now there has to be like 4 million layoffs. And jobs are disappearing. The economy is not getting better. Inflation just keeps going up. And it's like, it doesn't seem like things are going, the collapse is not slowing down. And it's going to take a long time before it actually recovers, if it ever does, right? And as it's getting harder and harder to find a job, people are being pushed into entrepreneurship, creating a side hustle, being your own boss, trying to make money somehow, And this is where the Angry Guy Creator Academy comes in, right? Angry Guys Creator Academy will teach you how to have an online business, how to build a YouTube channel, how to have an online presence, create a digital product, and basically be your own boss, become independent of the system, and basically start generating income, creating a brand online so that, for the long term, obviously, and so that we could eventually become independent of having to work for our corporations, because as jobs are disappearing, we are being pushed into, self-employment every single day. We're going to have to think of something. And I say, if we can't rely on these corporations anymore, or the government, we have to become independent. So click the link in the description. Check out Angry Guys Content Creator Academy. Okay, check it out. And you even get a free guide once you signed up. So click the link in the description. Check out Angry Guys Creator Academy. Now, let's get on with the show.
How do you prove it? Here's the tricky part. Intent. How do you prove a foodie call in court? Did she flirt with zero attraction? Did she ghost immediately after dessert? Did she already have a boyfriend waiting at home, laughing while she used you for tacos? Prosecutors would argue,
Your Honor, she showed no genuine interest, made no attempt to see him again, and admitted to her friends this was about dinner.
Defense attorneys would fight back.
She smiled. She talked. She never promised a relationship. Isn't that what dating is? Testing compatibility?
Boom! Welcome to the new courtroom battlefield. Genuine interest versus fraudulent intent. And suddenly, men aren't just asking, did she laugh at my joke? They're asking, would this hold up in court? The punishments. So what happens when foodie calls become punishable by law? Do we throw women in prison over pasta? Probably not. But here's how it could play out. Fines, $200 for misleading a man into sushi, $500 for steak, $1,000 if you ordered lobster tail and vanished. Community service, 50 hours bussing tables at the same restaurant where you ran your scam. Restitution, pay him back. Dinner plus tip plus Uber with interest. Probation, if you commit 2 foodie calls in a year, you're banned from dating apps until further notice. Imagine Tinder sending you a notification. Your foodie call history violates our community guidelines. Swipe responsibly, men would cheer, restaurants would panic, and women would suddenly get very picky about who they say yes to. Dating gets rewired. If foodie calls became a crime, the entire dating landscape would transform overnight. Men regain trust. Every date becomes higher stakes, but at least men know she's interested. Women become selective. No more free dinner with Chad unless Chad actually sparks attraction. Ghosting evaporates because disappearing after filet mignon now looks like evidence. And here's the irony. Romance actually improves. Why? Because every yes carries meaning again. She's not here for pasta. She's here for you. For the first time in decades, the power dynamic rebalances.
You know, a part of me thinks that even if such a law, let's just pretend that if such a law were to ever pass in a fantasy world, I don't, part of me thinks that things actually would not get better because the problem is the culture. The problem is the culture in general. It's like you can put all these laws, but if people are messed up in the head, nothing is going to change. So this is a cultural issue. And it's also a spiritual issue because people have become so narcissistic. More specifically, females have become so narcissistic in the West. And I can tell you because I've traveled to other countries. I've in the Philippines. I traveled to the Philippines and other countries. You don't deal with the same crap. You don't deal with the same crap. When a girl likes you, she likes you. She wants to get to know you. And as a matter of fact, sometimes they'll even pay for your date. She'll get to know you. And she likes you. She will continue to call you. And now you go your separate ways, and that's it. That's it. But here in America, everything is so transactional. It's basically like we're living in a country just based off prostitution.
The investigations. Now picture the investigation process. A man calls the Foodie Fraud Hotline.
Foodie Fraud Hotline. Yeah, officer, I just spent $180 at Ruth's Chris, and she blocked me before dessert hit the table.
Cops arrive at her apartment, scrolling through texts.
Ma'am, did you tell your friend this was just for sushi?
Screenshots become evidence. Group chat messages become subpoenas.
And she communicated that to you how?
Via text.
Do you have those texts?
I do.
I'd like to take a look at them.
Absolutely.
And suddenly, women are thinking twice before laughing with girlfriends about their free entree hustle. The courtroom drama revised.
Within those 2 weeks from the time you met him and the time you told him you needed money, how many times had you seen him?
Only once.
This is where it gets gold. Picture a small courtroom, no jury, just a tired judge who's seen it all. A man in a suit stands at the plaintiff's table, clutching his restaurant receipt like evidence from a crime scene. Across from him, a woman scrolls on her phone, totally unbothered.
Mr. Thompson, please explain your claim.
Your Honor, she agreed to dinner, ordered the most expensive thing on the menu, and ghosted me the next morning. I was led to believe it was a date.
And Miss Allison, your defense?
Your Honor, I was hungry, not interested. That's not a crime.
Maybe not yet. But under the new Foodie Call Accountability Act, if intent to deceive is proven, it is fraud.
The judge bangs the gavel. Verdict: guilty of deceptive romantic intent. Sentence: 100 hours of community service serving tables at Olive Garden and a $750 fine payable to the plaintiff. Courtroom erupts in laughter. But beneath the comedy lies a brutal truth. Modern dating has turned into a marketplace with no refunds, no standards, and no accountability. Foodie calls aren't about romance. They're about transactional manipulation disguised as charm.
If within 2 weeks of meeting somebody, you're asking for money from that person, bing, 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 should all go off in your head.
And this courtroom fantasy, it's what happens when society finally says, enough. You don't get to scam dinner for dopamine anymore.
You were taken for a fool. You get that.
I understand.
She owes you $1,030.
The Manosphere Connection. This is bigger than food. This is about respect. Foodie calls are just one of many examples where men's effort, money, and time are treated like disposable resources. And when men point this out, they get shamed, called bitter, called incels. But flip the roles. If men were openly bragging about using women for free haircuts, free rent, free validation, there would already be laws against it. The system protects one side and laughs at the other. That's why this video matters. Not because foodie calls will ever be crimes, but because they expose the imbalance every man already feels.
So again, guys, this is about respect. This is about respect. This isn't about trying to like one up the the opposite gender. It's about respect. It's about saying enough is enough. There's a reason why there's like 80% of men in especially in America, they don't want to date. They have stopped dating. It's not just the economy, right? Because in the 2008 crash, I was still, there were still dudes, trying to, they were still going out trying to meet girls. But now it has become such an issue that a lot of dudes are just like, plugging out, just saying, no way, no more. Just gonna stay at home and play freaking video games, right? And this is also the equivalent. This is also the equivalent of, like, let's say, a woman trying to sue a high status man, you know, a millionaire or a six-figure earner that she has sex with, and then she finds out that he wasn't really interested. He just wanted to use her for her body, and that's it. This is the equivalent of that. It's the equivalent of that. Some people will disagree, but I mean, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think, because, you know, at the end of the day, nobody wants to be used. Nobody wants to be used. You know, if somebody shows that they're interested in you, you kind of hope that they're serious about it, you know. But hey, whatever your thoughts are, make sure to comment below, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications. Guys, it's your boy Andy Matrix. Godspeed.